time to tune in. Stories that connect where we all begin. Laughter, lessons, journeys unfold. The VM network, let the stories be told. VM network, it's your time to tune in. Stories that connect where we all begin. Laughter, lessons, journeys unfold. The VM network, let the stories be told. The VM network, let the stories be told.
Hi, I'm Luvleigh, and I'm a small artist from Cape Town, and I need your help. See, this year, I'm in Matric, and I don't really have a plan for after school. So if my music doesn't blow up, and I become an amazing artist, then I probably disappoint my parents. So I have 1 year to get this right. You and me, we have 1 year to get my music as big as it can possibly be worldwide. So far, not many people think I'm going to be that successful. That's where you come. If you guys can help me grow a following, grow my brand, get interactions, get streams, I will be absolutely blessed. And I can't tell you how much your support is going to mean to me. So stop waiting around, and I promise you, I won't disappoint.
If you see there's a face, you know that it's 9 o'clock, and this is Voices of the Art exclusively on Voice on the Move network. I'm your host, Andile Dube, Matube _Umbuyaz, and we are currently broadcasting live on our various social media networks. It's Facebook as well as YouTube. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click on the notification bell to get a notification each and every single time you go live. For you, the first-time watcher, right? You might be wondering what exactly Voices of the Art is all about. It's about you, the artist, the creative, the entertainer. This is a platform for you to share your musical journey, your journey within the industry, so on and so forth, some of the challenges that you might find yourself facing. You know what? Take this as your diary, right? Where you can look back and see where you started at and influence some of those who might want to get into whatever industry that you are currently in, and for them to actually know and be more educated about it, right? And we trust you to educate those who might not have an understanding what they might be getting themselves into. We appreciate the support. Please do send an email if you are someone that is interested in joining the show. It's studio, it's STUDIO at vmradio.co.za. You know what, this morning I am so excited to have a conversation with a young lady who goes by the name of Luvleigh. She's a lady on a mission, a young one on a mission, and what exactly that mission is, I'll let her tell you. But while we're going to be talking about her particular mission, please don't forget to comment on our comment section. May it be support or any questions that you might have for our guest this morning. Feel free to do so. We would really appreciate that. But for now, here is Get You Out My Mind by Luvleigh.
How many days are left to fight for this failing love? I don't want it to fall. Whoa. Should I even open that door? You're losing feelings and I'm gaining more. Whoa. Self-control is getting weak. like a virus that's not contained. You're all over my mental state. Yeah. Can I tell you all my secrets, even if we end up just as friends? Self-control is getting weaker. Can I fall just once more? Spending nights alone, it gets painful, and I'm trying, but moving on is always easier said than done, and I'm trying to get you out my mind. You don't pay to be up there, out my mind. I'm trying to catch my breath again, out my mind. You don't pay to be up there, out my mind. I'm trying to catch my breath again, out my mind. You don't pay to be up there, out my mind. I'm trying to catch my breath again, out my mind. You don't pay to be up there, out my mind. I'm trying to catch my breath again, out my mind.
And oh, what an absolutely beautiful jam. If you just tuned in now, this is Voices of the Art, and I'm your host for this morning, Andile Wagatube. Please don't be shy and give us your comments on our comment section on our YouTube as well as Facebook, where we're currently live. Do share your thoughts on the interview for this morning, as well as any encouraging words or any questions you might have for our guest this morning. Our guest goes by the name of Lavio. I see our first comment of the morning by Noktula Dube. That is my mom. You know what? The support of a parent or a loved one is also as important as the support of the public. And it's so important for us to encourage our artists and our creatives, because it's a very, very difficult industry. I'm sure Lavi is going to be speaking about her particular journey and some of the challenges that she's faced as a young artist in the South African music industry. But for now, let's go straight into having a conversation with Lavi this morning. Good morning, Lavi. How are you doing this morning?
Morning, morning. I am good, and you?
I'm well, thank you, Lavi. I'm so, you know what? You are one young lady that is currently on a mission, right? Tell us a little bit about your mission within the music industry, and why is it a mission of, why particularly 2025 have you set this particular mission for yourself?
Yeah, so my mission really is just to help people and to talk to people and have these deeper conversations with people, because I really, really feel in my generation, especially in this year of 2025, we really don't talk about the important things as much as we should. We don't, we emphasize this thing of therapy and talking to each other, but we don't really do it. We don't get into the dirty, the muddy things. And that's really what I want to do. I want to talk about those things, and I want to bring light to situations, as well as just let people know that it's okay. It's more than just them feeling those emotions. And that's really just the journey. That's the goal, is to talk to people, be that little voice in their ear when they listen to a song, and just so that, yeah, they feel like they're not alone and they can relate to something in some way. And it's really just about talking about things that so many people just push to the side. I want to bring light to that and bring positivity to it as well. It doesn't all have to be dark and gloomy. It can also just be a conversation. It doesn't have to be crying the whole time. It can really just be a conversation. So that's the goal, is to, you know, relate with people and have those conversations.
You know what, Lovey? I've actually picked that up when listening to your music because you speak about such relatable moments, such a relatable feelings that we all can refer to when we are feeling
Yes.
maybe a sense, well, feeling our first heartbreak or having a crush on someone or a sense of betrayal, so on and so forth. So I think that is really important to have someone who speaks to those various or emotions, especially a young person,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You know, you tend to be so overwhelmed with so many emotions. You don't know what's going on. Why am I feeling this way? So I think you're definitely doing God's work, for a
Yes.
lack
There's
of better word. Yes.
so many people are like, why are you writing sad songs? All of it's just sad songs. And I'm like, it's not about the fact that it's a sad song, it's about the story. I had someone DM me yesterday, and so they were like, why all these sad songs? Why the topic of breakup? And I was like, girl, I just need to tell a story. And when I'm done telling the story, we'll go into another story. So it's really just storytelling and having people relate to it, because everyone's gone through it at some point.
So throughout the show, we're going to speak about your mental health advocacy, right? But for now, let's
Mhm.
talk about your music to be particular, to be specific, rather. Another mission that you have is to blow up, right? To have as
Yes,
much
yes.
followers as you can, to to be someone that the world knows as a lovey. Why that particular goal?
Sure, I think it really just came from a young age. I mean, my parents used to call me Mini Coranzoid because I had this little Hello Kitty microphone and a guitar that I didn't know how to play at that age. And I would just rock in the backyard, sing when I couldn't actually sing. I was just in my head, there were millions of people in front of me and I was performing. So I think it's just my way. I'm very artistic, very out there, and for a very long time I kept that inside of me until I really realized, you know what, this is me and it's fun, and I want to run around on stage and I want to sing these songs and I want to party with people and also relate to people. So that's the thing. I want to balance the talking about heavy things, but also having fun with it and also being like, well, this is life and this is what we need to do. So blowing up, obviously, that's what every artist wants. They want to be the next, I don't know, Taylor Swift. But even if it doesn't happen, it's still about relating with people. And even if I'm just a well known artist, that would be amazing. I don't need to win a Grammy, although I would like to one day in the future. But yeah, the goal is, it's always been me. I think also coming from a musical family, it was kind of my fate to end up in it. And yeah, I just want to have fun, want to run around on stage because that's always what I dreamt of doing. And I think it's very nice in this day and age that so many people like chase your dreams, go for what you want, and all of that. So it's really nice to actually sort of have the platform to do it. It's hard, but you do have that some sort of support to go after your dreams. So that's what it is.
So at some point, you mentioned with the during our conversation is that uh, you couldn't sing, and then you discovered that you can sing, right? At some point, right? Especially
Yes,
with such a
yes.
beautiful voice. So share with us about your musical journey, discovering your passion, and then going into releasing your first song. Because there was a point in time from I can't sing to what a beautiful voice I have, and I want to share it with the world.
Yes. So I originally started the classic, every kid, especially in South Africa, I don't really know about abroad, but we all had to do music at school from like grade 1, and we were all playing recorders. So I was again one of the kids playing recorder. And from recorder, I moved to piano, which I'm still doing. And then that became saxophone. I started playing saxophone, was in jazz bands in primary school. So it was like, yeah, I'm good at it. This is kind of my thing. I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed performing for people. And the singing really came in just before, I think it was like 2019, 2018, going into 2020 when there was COVID. And I started singing. But it's kind of a weird story because when I started singing, I was convinced that I was an artist that sings in cursive. So if you don't know what cursive is a style of singing that they sometimes use where they slur their words and you can't really hear what they're saying. It's almost like they're all singing in legato. There's no break in between a word. And I was singing like that, and I must say, my parents hated it. Uh, my mom literally was like, I would much rather pay for you to go for singing lessons than listen to you sing like this. And I was convinced that I was going to be amazing with the way I sounded. I look back now, I sounded horrible. And this was round about the age of like 12, 13. They really couldn't sing. No one else really in my family was singing at that time. And it really just was practice and practice. I was convinced that I'm gonna be this pop star. So I really just worked at it. I was singing for hours every day, just trying to copy artists and how they're singing. And eventually it got better and better. And then 2, 3 years ago, I started going for vocal training because I realized that I was straining my voice to the point where I wouldn't be able to sing in 30, 40 years' time. So it was really more about my vocal health than trying to be the next Adele. But it has come to the point where I'm singing Adele songs and all of that. So it was a long journey. I think I only realized that, this is something I can do when I was about 14, 15 years old. And that's when I also kind of got my first guitar and I started learning guitar because I was writing songs, but I never had an instrument to accompany me with that. I wasn't good enough at piano at that time to accompany myself. But I would, from a young age, I would write these short little songs. I think they were more poems, but I tried to sing them, so it kind of became the song thing. I remember I wrote my first song when I was 4 or 5 years old. It was about a mouse. It was based off that other The Mouses Walking in the House song that we sang as kids. I don't know what it's called, but it was based off that, and I sang it for my parents. Obviously, I sang it very bad. I was 4 or 5. It was not good. Um, from then, whenever I felt overwhelmed or stressed or just left out as a child, because I was very different as a child, I wasn't necessarily the kid that had loads of friends, but I spent a lot of time just if I was sad, I'd go out and I'd write about a flower that was in the garden and I'd try connect it to what I was feeling. And I think that's where the songwriting came in. And I always thought it was kind of getting through emotions. And then in 2020, when COVID, I think everyone in 2020 decided, this is my time to shine. I am going to now do what I've been dreaming of for the last however many years. And that's when I was like, okay, I am going to try get my parents on board with this. I started writing songs. I was writing a new song almost every day. Some songs my parents are like, this is bad. Just try again. So at that point, I also had to try and get my parents on board because obviously a parent wants their child to be stable and have a good job and everything. And when you tell your parents you want to be an artist, which is a very badly paying job, especially in the beginning, and if you don't make it, they're like, I don't think that's a good idea. So it was really I to get them on board. I was searching for a producer for at least 2 years before someone actually took me seriously, and that's when my first song SUV came out when I was 15. And yeah, it's quite a journey. It took very long. A lot of people think I just jumped into it, but it took a lot of preparation. It took me 3 years before I'd written SUV. It took me 3 years before it came out. So it was really a journey and just trying to get people to believe in me and trying to get people to actually back me as such a young kid because they're like, I'm not going to take this kid seriously. This kid's just messing around. But I was very, very serious. And I'm so grateful for the people who eventually noticed that, this is something I can do and noticed the passion and noticed that I was going to work hard at it. So that's really the journey from not being able to sing to being told I can't sing very well to working on it and singing and writing. And now we're here about 3 years down the line and we've released about 6 songs. So I think it's been quite a journey. It's been busy, but it's been eventful.
Oh, definitely. It sounds like one hell of a ride, right? Good morning, Z. We see you on our live, that you currently on live with us on YouTube. It says Zoe tuning in. I love the outfit today, Leah. I definitely
Thank
appreciate.
you.
I appreciate that, Zoe. And we also encourage more people to join our live. And feel free to comment, encourage Lovey this morning, because it's so important for us to have this, for young artists especially, to receive words of encouragement and support, right? Talking about words of encouragement and support, Lovey, you mentioned that it's something you really needed to work on, getting people to come on board with
Yes.
your
Yeah.
music, and really understand that this is something you're passionate about, and it's something that you want to pursue, right, further. How
Hmm.
difficult was that for you, and some of the challenges you faced with that, and why didn't you give up? Because I mean, many people would be just like, no one is supporting me. I keep having to try and convince people, especially at such a young age. Being young, there's so many emotions that you go through, right? So it's like, you know what? Let me just leave this particular passion. No one is supporting me. So where did that courage of continually getting people to try and support you until they eventually saw the vision?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it had to do with me just being shy as a whole in the beginning. I was very, I wouldn't say ashamed, but I wasn't ready for people to give me even just like constructive criticism in the beginning. So a lot of the times I wouldn't sing for people. But what did happen every single year at my birthday party, and I will say my friends were lying when they said I was good because I wasn't good back then. I would ultimately I wouldn't know what to do when I go to a function or a party and there's an instrument. I'm always the one that ends up playing with it, and that would happen like every year at my birthday party, and I would start singing them songs that I'd been writing, and they'd obviously hype me up, even if I sang a bad note. Obviously, great friends, but they also should have been a little more honest. Because now we look back and we laugh, and they tell me now, oh, it wasn't actually that good, but we were trying to support you. And I think that really, really helped me. My friends at the time were very much a big role of why I carried on. But deep down, it was also a thing of, well, I don't know what else I'm gonna do with my life. I don't know what else I'm that passionate about. I don't know what else I've been dreaming about since I was 4, 5 years old. And it was this fire inside of me that also was kind of arrogant and wanted to prove people wrong. When my parents were like, no, this song's kind of bad, or you must sing like this, or you must sing like that, a part of me was like, no, I'm gonna prove you wrong. This is good. So there was a little bit of an ego in there of just trying to prove people wrong, because for so long I felt like I wasn't getting the recognition that I essentially deserved. And it was really one teacher that really opened the door to everything that has happened. I started going for guitar lessons because I was teaching myself at home, but I really wanted to accelerate my learning with guitar. So I did lessons for a year, and within that year, he helped me write one of my songs. Because in the beginning I told him, because he asked me why am I doing lessons, I was like, well, I'm a singer songwriter. I want to get better at this. I want to accompany myself while I'm playing. I want to write songs on the guitar as well. And he was like, stop, we're gonna work on it. And the one day after the lesson, we had written a song together, and that's when everything kind of broke open for me, because he came to the car, and obviously this means a lot to me till this day. I love him even though I don't see him that much anymore, but it really means a lot to me. He told my mom, he told her that I was great at writing songs and I could sing and that I had this passion and this massive opportunity within me, and it just kind of needed to be broken open. So he gave a few people I could go to singing lessons for, just to help me advance in that. And he was really the person that changed my parents' perspective and made them realize, you know what, this is something that our daughter could potentially do. This is, because if someone from the public thinks she can do it, then surely there's something there. And that really broke it open. So yeah, it was a journey. It took about 2 3 years before my parents were really, really behind me and backed me, and other people as well. But once I started going, I must say the love I received when my first song came out was amazing. I walked into school and my friends and them knew about it and they were hugging me and congratulating me. So it takes a while, and I think I didn't give up because ultimately I kind of wanted to prove a point. And that little competitive nature was like, I'm gonna prove to you I can do this, because I really felt within me that this was something I had to do. And yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I definitely have days where I'm like, oh, if this song doesn't do better, then I'm
Yeah,
done. Then this is the last one. Um, but it's about looking at the journey that's been and looking where you want to be. And I think I've come so far at this point, I can't stop. So, because then what? Then it was a waste of the past 5 6 years of my life.
definitely.
So yeah.
So, you know what I've picked up from you so far? I've picked up the fact that you need to have a little bit of an ego, right? You need to have a little bit of an ego.
Yes.
Support doesn't come immediately. I know many
Hmm.
of us would love the idea of as soon as you want to start something, have a backing. But for you, you
Yes.
spoke about the
Yeah.
fact that it took 3 years. I mean, who wants to wait 3 years? But many need
Yeah.
to even wait even longer than that. So I
Mm.
think that is absolutely something beautiful that many of us need to learn and unlearn the fact that
Mm.
support doesn't come immediately, right? So I think that's
Yes.
absolutely beautiful. So I've had a conversation with many older musicians, right, about
Hmm.
their perception of the South African music industry. So they spoke to me about some of the challenges that they have been facing within the industry and
Hmm.
how they see the South African music industry as a whole. But as someone who seems to still have stars in their eyes, right, and sees
Yes.
the industry, well, seems to see the industry in a positive light, I want to know your perception of the South African music industry.
Yeah, so I must say the music industry is in South Africa has actually been, I wouldn't say blowing up, but it's been getting a lot more recognition in the past 2 3 years. I think specifically in certain genres, because I think what's amazing about South Africa is we have so many artists in so many genres. We have the jazz festival that's on at the moment, and there's Kaka and Ka, and then there's all the Afrikaans singers, and there's pop singers, and there's Will Linley. So I think really in the last few years, those artists have been able to break through, but it is hard, I must say, when it comes to budgeting and expense. I think that
Okay.
has been my biggest thing, because then you get reached out to by an international company and they want to help you, but obviously in order for them to help you, you have to pay them. And then you look at the exchange rate and it's 3 times more expensive than what it would have been if it was in South Africa. And that, I think, that is such a hard thing. And in the past few days, I was kind of feeling like you either really good and someone just gives you a massive opportunity, or it kind of feels like the only reason you're gonna break through is because you have lots of money and you can pay for all of it. So I think that's what I've been struggling with, was just how do I break through all this ice that's in front of me and get into the world, because ultimately I don't just want to be a well-known singer in South Africa. Like you get Kurt Darren and all those singers that are well known within a country, and I think that's amazing for them. I want to travel worldwide. I want the world to hear my music because I don't think it's just South Africa that needs to hear these stories. Um, so the South African music industry has been doing better. I think it's kind of like a different version of the rat race, but just with artists.
Yeah.
They have to, you got to jump through the hoops. You got to see what you can do. You can see who you can talk to, which good artist can I make friends with, and then they can help me. Um, so yeah, I think there's so many artists as well. There's so much competition out there, and there's so many people trying to break through the ice and trying to get to the top that I think there's so much more competition than what there used to be because people have realized that, oh, maybe this is something I can do, or this is my dream, let me try it. And that also makes it really hard because obviously, as an artist, you want to support artists, but there's also the thing of, but I want to be on top. Are we all gonna be on top, or are we all gonna be at different levels?
Yeah.
Because I also want to be your bestie because we have something in common. But who's gonna get there? Who's gonna get there? And who? I think everyone deserves so much time in the spotlight, but unfortunately, there's only so many spotlights. And worldwide, in the music industry, there's four positions that, like the massive positions, I'm talking Grammys and stuff, that they shuffle throughout the year. So you get your Taylor Swifts, you get your Billie Eilishes, and you get all that stuff. And really, if you want to make it, I wouldn't say copy in their footsteps, but there are definitely elements
Yeah.
that you need to have to break through. There's certain things that people look for, but overall, South Africa is doing really, really well. We're definitely bringing our sound into the world, and I think it's really amazing, and it's giving a lot of people in South Africa opportunities more than there used to be, especially following Tyler, who's now won a Grammy and everything. It's really giving South African artists a lot of hope. So I don't want to see the industry in South Africa as negative or bad, because I feel like if I see it like that, then I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna
Hmm.
be like, well, I live in South Africa, I'm never gonna get anywhere. But there's opportunities and there's things you can do, and yeah, it's just grit, and you got to break through the ice, and sometimes you got to do what the public wants you to do to make it. So
Mm.
you really just got to play the game. You got to look for the things you can do.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a musician by the name of Mark Wayne a few weeks back. He spoke about
Hmm.
the fact that he got his breakthrough internationally. He
Hmm.
tried in South Africa, but it seemed to not work in his favor. So then he ended up auditioning for an international company, and he was able to um, break through within the music industry. Is that something you ever considered, maybe working within an international company, you know, experiencing your breakthrough there and then maybe giving SA a chance? Or is it just, you know what, this is where I feel comfortable at, this is my playground, let me try and break through here, because if I can't break through in SA, why would I break through internationally?
I think the important thing to notice is that every country kind of has its own genre that they really like. So very weirdly, say now Texas will really love if you sing country music, or Nashville will really love if you write country music. And then here in South Africa, they want the Afrikaans, they want the jazz, they want the home, they want the all of that stuff. They want Tyler, they want R&B. So I think what you really need to look at is what is my genre
Mhm.
and what country is going to appreciate that the most. A prime um, example of that is Jeremy Loops. Jeremy Loops is a South African and he does tour South Africa, but he is loved overseas. People love him so much more overseas than here. And I think it's got a lot to do with the kind of music you're making because everyone listens to different things.
Mhm.
Um, But I have thought that, maybe the international market is more for me. Um, I think it's also got a lot to do with that I don't necessarily know or have experience in a lot of the African cultures. Um, so I think that kind of makes me a little bit irrelevant in South Africa, because so much of South Africa is about culture and is about preserving those South African cultures, which is amazing. But because I don't have experience in it, I feel like I'm kind of irrelevant, and I don't write songs that they might connect to. So it is definitely a thought, but while I am living in South Africa, I want to try get to the South African market, because there is an opportunity for pop in South Africa. It might not be as big as other genres, but while I'm here, I want to connect to the people in this country. I don't want to be that artist that moves out of South Africa and then is like, well, South Africa sucks because they didn't support my music. But it's really not that. It's just what you write and what do people like. So, yeah, there's obviously more opportunities in America and in other countries for pop. But while I'm here, I'm really trying to connect with the South African um, economy. And I think it's important to also realize your roots. I mean, I was born here, I've been living here my whole life, so it's definitely not something I want to lose. So yeah, I think while I'm here, try to connect with them, and then if it really doesn't work, I'm not going to forget South Africa. I'm not going to hate on South Africa. You just, sometimes you got to go where the people are. And I think that's with any kind of job. um so yeah, it's just about who you are and what the people want, essentially.
I love how you seem to be well educated about the music industry, from the genres to where you fit in, which I think is very important. And now let's speak about a song that we're going to be playing up next, SUV. Please take us into coming please take us into the message of that particular song, as well as introduce it to the first time listener and some of the emotions that they might expect to feel when listening to this particular song.
Yeah, SUV was my first release, and the story of SUV is really just having a massive crush on someone and being in that kind of high school crush vibe where you like the person, you're not sure if they like you back. So you're kind of doing this little tango of, do I say something or do I keep quiet to preserve my feelings? So that's what SUV is about. It explores those. Well, we've been doing this. I think we have a vibe. Do you feel the same? Because I'd want this to go somewhere. That's the song. So really, if you relate to it, well, firstly, if you have a crush on someone and you're not sure if you like them back, it's definitely the song for you. And you can definitely expect sort of emotions of uncertainty. I think that really is highlighted in the song, and what you want versus what you think they want. So that's SUV by me. It's an amazing song. It's a country pop kind of vibe. It's very different to what I've recently been writing, but it's very good. And that's SUV by me.
Cause you spend all your time in the backseat. Now I'm not gonna ask if we're going too fast, cause I wanna love you in the backseat of your mother's SUV. I was thinking about the time that we fell. Could you call for help? I really want to know if you like me, or we're just playing footsie under the
Morning. If you just tuned in now, this is the Voices of the Art, only on Voice on the Move network. We're currently broadcasting live on YouTube as well as Facebook. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click on the notification bell to get a notification each and every time we go live. I see you there. Sent says lovely music. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate that. Words like this encourage our musicians to keep going, and that's very special to us. And if you are a musician out there that wants a platform that encourages you to keep going, and also a platform where you can speak about some of the challenges within the industry, in the creative space, please send us an email. It's a studio, it's studio at vmradio.co.za. Who knows, we might be speaking to you. Good morning, Lovey, once again.
Morning, morning.
How does it feel seeing your song or hearing your song? I can only imagine the emotions that you go through, that this is my baby, and people are responding to it so positively, like Scent says, lovely music.
Oh, no, it is so amazing, especially considering that song is, I think, almost 2 years old now, 3 years old. And it's amazing to just see how, even though it's a song that came out a while ago, people are still finding it and it's still new to people. For me, it's like I've heard it like 100 times. And for other people, it's like, oh, wow, okay. It's also sometimes kind of weird. It kind of feels like it's not me. It's kind of like, oh, who's this? And especially if I haven't listened to my own songs in a while, then it's like, I forgot how good this is. So no, it's amazing to hear, and it's great to get the feedback from people.
Have you ever felt that you wanted to change something in a song after a while? I'm sure when listening to maybe a song like SUV, maybe I can change the instrumental, maybe I could add this, take that out.
I don't think so. I think it's more of maybe I should do different versions of it, or maybe I should do an acoustic version of the song. I don't think I ever really want to change anything because I think that takes away from the authenticity of I was 15 when this was released. So yeah, I just want to preserve it as it is. This is my first little song, and even if I get bigger and I'm like that could have been better. I think it's important to remember I was 15 when that came out, and it's really good for having been that age.
So, with your platform, you seem to advocate for mental health, right? So, I wanted to know a bit about your personal journey and how it impacts your music as a whole.
Yeah, my personal journey, I think mental health struggles has been a thing that has been very prevalent in my life since age 8, 9 years old. It has been something that I struggled with, having like undiagnosed depression and anxiety for 7 odd years. A lot of people around me didn't notice it, or I didn't tell them, and they also didn't really believe that it was so much of a problem. It was more, well, it's a mindset, or you should work out more or eat healthier, and then you won't feel this way. So a lot of the time, those emotions would become songs. Like I said earlier, I would go into the garden, and if I was feeling overwhelmed or whatever, I'd try connect it to something in nature or something I was seeing in that moment. And yeah, music just became my way of processing things. I wasn't very, especially very good at talking about it because I always felt like when I spoke about it, then I'd overshare and then I'd overthink about the fact that I overshared, and it would just be this constant cycle. But when I wrote it down, it was like I transferred the emotion onto something that was more stable in a sense. And that's really just how the music came along. Also, a very cliche thing is music helped me through all those emotions, listening to artists who were maybe singing sad songs, but they were talking about certain emotions and certain feelings, and that really helped me. So then I was like, well, I have this writing skill, I have this singing skill, let me do the same. Let me also try relate to people and talk about those things and help people through the music. So that's really how it ties into everything. It was my way of dealing with things, my way of coping, and then also just my way of talking to people and communicating with people. So that's really how it ties into everything.
As someone who's struggled, like you mentioned, with mental health, the South African music industry is quite a challenging industry for someone who might have that particular challenge. So, how do you
Mhm.
intend to protect, or how have you protected your mental health in an industry like this one?
Yeah, I think I must say I haven't done as much advocating for it as I wish I have been doing, as it is, I wouldn't say like a touchy topic or a sensitive topic because everyone talks about mental health nowadays, but it is something that you need to represent it well. And that's what I've been trying to figure out. Like, how do I talk about this without being insensitive or without having people bash me about it or be like mental health doesn't exist and all those people as well. So I think it's really just being about how do I strategize in talking about this without having it all be about my journey, because I don't think it has to all be about my journey. It's also people's journey and what people experience and how people listen to my music. Because I might write a song that is about a certain emotion or about a certain thing that I went through, but when someone else listens to it, they will relate it to what they have experienced. So I think it's about representing mental health well and not making it about me. It's not all about my story. And I think it's important to know that when you're in social media, you don't have to tell the media everything. Obviously, sometimes it does feel like you're being inauthentic if you don't tell them everything. But if you think about it, in real life relationships, you probably don't tell everyone everything. So why would you tell the media everything? And I think that's where you have to be careful in not spilling your guts all over the media if you wouldn't do it in a personal or just a one-on-one conversation. So it's really about finding what is relevant to help people and what is something that is part of you, but the media doesn't need to know.
We definitely appreciate that one. So we see another comment from a Saint. What a lovely interview, Andile. Love the aesthetic of this studio. Thank you so much, Saint. We definitely appreciate that. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We absolutely love and appreciate the encouragement that we get from you. It makes us want to do better and better and better. So, Lovey, many entertainers, because you speak about mental health, and we see a lot of artists, creatives breaking down on social media,
Yeah.
being stuck, so on, so forth. And then we hear a conversation of, you know what, it's time to start not forsaking education because it's important for you to have something to fall back on. So,
Yes. Yes.
is that something that you want to further your studies, especially in such a shaky industry? And if so, what are you looking into studying?
Yeah, so being a matric, it's obviously a very big conversation. What are you going to study? Everyone's like, oh, what are you going to go study? Where are you going to go study? Have you applied yet? It's a very big conversation in this stage of life. And it has been something that I've been like, okay, well, what am I gonna do that also pulls in this love of music? Because I don't want to be the type of person who lives a 9 to 5 job just so that I can support the music type thing. But if that's what has to happen, that's what has to happen. And also being safe, you want to get a job one day. You want to have that life where even if you're not a massive artist, you can still provide, you can look after yourself and all of that. So study wise, I am planning on going to go study next year, and the plan is to go study marketing. I find it very, very fascinating, and it's kind of like a double. It's a win-win for everyone. I get a degree, and it can also help me promote my own music. And then if the music really, really, really doesn't work out, then I can still work and maybe even help other artists one day. So yeah, the plan is to go study marketing, learn about that, and yeah, we'll see where life takes us. I really do not know what's gonna happen after this year, and it's exciting. It's scary, but it's exciting. And yeah, marketing is my way that I'm gonna go. While I study marketing, I also want to try study part-time some sound engineering. My dream has always been to actually make and produce and write all my music by myself. I release music with a producer at the moment because when I was 15, I felt like, okay, if I really want to make it in the industry, I got to start young. You look at the Billie Eilish, you look at the Taylor Swift, they started young. So I was like, I need to get into the industry right now, even if I'm not making all the music by myself, because I simply just didn't have the time to learn all the intricacies of sound engineering. So that is something I want to improve my skills on, even if it means that I don't end up doing all the production on my music. I want to have a bigger role within making my own music besides having sung it and written the main melody and written the lyrics. So yeah, that's the plan. Marketing and a little bit of sound engineering on the side.
Many musicians and artists, creatives in general, should take note of is that think about what could fall into the industry that you can that you are in, and it could be something that you can fall back into, like marketing. Marketing is
Yes.
something that really goes hand in hand with the industry that
Yes. Yes.
you are in. Right now, we're going to be playing one of your most viewed songs, Elephant in the Room. So tell us, why do you think so many people connected to that particular song as it's currently your most viewed song?
I think the real thing is I released it when there was like this outbreak on social media of people talking about the topic of cheating and people that whole like season of time where everyone was like, oh, these are red flags, these are green flags. It kind of got released in that same time. And because the song is about cheating, it really does talk to all those red flags and what you should have seen and all of that. But I think it's also just because it's got this like feistiness to it. When I wrote the song, I literally envisioned what the music video would be like, hence why I pushed so hard to have a music video for it. Is I pictured this girl confronting her boyfriend and being like, well, I have all the evidence right here. I've been looking into it. I've found all the evidence. Now you just need to own up to it. And that's really what the chorus speaks about. It's just like there's da 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 da, there's all these things, just own up to it. I already know, you might as well just admit it. And it's got this feistiness to be like, I know what you did, just say it. Don't be so like, oh no no, just say it. And that's really what the song's about. And obviously it's about a heavy topic. Cheating is not a good thing, and I think it's really sad that so many people have, or not have to go through it, but have gone through it. And I think that's why it was so relevant, because it came out at that time where people started talking about it and were like, these cheating is such a red flag, and if they cheated before, or you're the one that he cheated on with, but now you guys are together. It was like this whole outburst of people talking about stuff like that. And I think that's why it's really relevant, because so many people have experienced it and now they can be like, okay, it's not just me, and these are actually the emotions that I was feeling as well. So I think that's why so many people related to it.
Coming up.
I don't know where I'm going. I woke up with a headache. Can we talk about something? It's taking up the space. 'Cause there's a big, big void inside this room. It's like an elephant we have to address in the room. 'Cause baby, I think we need to talk. We don't communicate. We just need to know we're on the same page. 'Cause baby, I don't wanna see us going separate ways. 'Cause I think we have something. 'Cause baby, I think we are perfect. I want us to last. I don't want us going nowhere. So address the elephant in the room. I walked in, saw you next to her. You look kinda cozy in her arms. You were even smiling. 'Cause you told me not to worry about you and her. Now it seems like you are more than friends with her. 'Cause baby, I think we need to talk. We don't communicate. We just need to know we're on the same page. 'Cause baby, I don't wanna see us going separate ways. 'Cause I think we have something. 'Cause baby, I think we are perfect. I want us to last. I don't want us going nowhere. So address the elephant in the room. She's the elephant in the room. Address the elephant in the room. She's the elephant in the room. Address the elephant. 'Cause baby, I think we are perfect. I want us to last. I don't want us going nowhere. Address the elephant. 'Cause baby, I think we are perfect. I want us to last. I don't want us going nowhere. Address the elephant in the room.
That was Elephant in the Room by our guest this morning. Goes by the name of Luvleigh, an absolutely amazing young musician. I had mentioned that she has stars in her eyes, and you can see by the music that we've been playing throughout the show that it's something that she's really passionate about. Also, how she speaks about music and seems to be quite very well read and understands the industry, which I'm so proud of her, with her rather, about, especially because she's a matric student, right, Lovey?
Yes, yes, in the
Oh,
Matric year.
this is one of your most important years, all right?
Yes,
Especially,
yes.
yeah, especially as a foundation for the next half of your life. So, how are
Mm-hmm.
you able, or how are you balancing both wanting to break through into the music industry and also making sure that you put the necessary effort that you need to put within your studies?
I must say it is a little tricky sometimes, obviously, because you want to do well academically, but you also want to pursue this dream, and you're so adamant that you need to put in all this work. And I think it's really just like planning. I took like 6 months last year just trying to plan how am I gonna do this music thing and a matric year, because always you when you're in grade 11 you don't know what to expect from a matric year. You don't actually know how busy you are gonna be. And what I try to do is really just do my work. I try to like focus on doing my work at school. I feel that's when I focus the most on academics. I try to push music to the background for the eight hours that I'm at school, and really just focus in, make sure I'm listening in classes, make sure I'm up to date. And yeah, with the music, obviously you have times where you're a little more busy than others, and when it is roundabout release time for a song, it does get very, very busy, and I'm often very, very tired. Like doing the content creation, making sure the songs being promoted, interviews, all of that. It gets quite hectic at that time. And then I just make sure that when it calms down again, then I focus on academics. So it's yeah, it's just about trying to manage my time. I try to do schoolwork at school and music at home. It's kind of like these two different lives that I live. And so far it's working. So far it's working. But definitely towards the end of the year, I'm trying to get my music out now, the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, the focus is definitely going to be more on academics and less on music. So there, I'll probably be a little scarce for a little bit. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get the matric, so that you can. I'm gonna make sure that I do well in the matric exams, and then I go on matric holiday, and I will be blasting out content in my matric holiday. So yeah, that's the plan, and it's just trying to wrap my head around what's important in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you seem to find a way to balance everything out, right? And how you've taken the time to plan, all right?
Mm,
It's very
yeah.
important, especially when it comes to balancing two of the most important things to you. So it's very important for us to balance that. Let's talk about balance. Let's speak about your latest release as we come to the end of our conversation this morning. Tell us a little bit about your latest release, Broke Me, and tell us how you've grown from your first song to this particular one.
Broke Me is the joy. It's the mud, it's the dirt of a breakup. It's all those very, very intense emotions you feel when you've like just been broken up, or it's like the first month of being broken up and you're crying almost every day. It's also a song that I think is more intense because it was my first breakup. It was my experience of a first breakup. And I think what I've learned since the first song was really just it is a story, and you have to lean into the story. So many people are like, oh, who's it about? Or again, why are you writing so many sad songs? And I'm like, well, it's the story that I'm trying to tell. And sometimes you're a little bit more dramatic when you tell a story just to get the point across. So a lot of people are like, oh, but you're misrepresenting it. I'm like, I don't think I am, because Broke Me, I wrote in 20 minutes the day I got broken up with. It's literally just raw emotion on a piece of paper. That is what Broke Me is. And I wanted to release it and really be vulnerable in that space. I think all these sad songs per se that are coming out now is really about just being vulnerable in that space and letting people who need to connect to it, and the people who don't necessarily want to connect to it, it's okay. They don't have to listen to that song, but I really want to cater for those who are struggling and do need to hear it. That's my mission, that's my goal. If you just want a party song, they might come later, but at the moment you're not going to get a party song. Um, So yeah, it's really just those raw emotions and learning to be vulnerable and lean into your vulnerability and not be ashamed of the fact that you're vulnerable, because so many people actually need that vulnerability where everyone's so surface level nowadays. And yeah, I just want to lean into that vulnerability and show that it's not a weakness, it's actually a powerful mechanism of relating to people and talking to people. So yeah.
So we are about to wrap up the show for this morning, and you also touched on very important feelings. You know, I think many of us, like I had mentioned, that your songs are emotions that are so relatable that many of us would want that could, you know, want a way to release those particular emotions. And I think listening to a song that speaks to an emotion is a great way to release all those feelings that one might have. For those who want to know more about you and this particular conversation is not enough, where could they follow you, your social media platforms, and so on and so forth?
I am on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of them for content at it's_lovely, and that's Luvleigh. And there you can follow along for the journey, get updates on everything, get to know me a little bit better, see the personality, see the covers, all of that. And then streaming wise, you can find me on every major streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, all of them. You can find me there at Lovely, which is again Luvleigh.
Any last words as we wrap up the show for this morning?
I really, really hope that you enjoy my music and you can relate to it. And if you have a friend who needs to hear one of my songs, be sure to send them to it. And yeah, if you like my music, support an artist. I am going to be pushing out a lot more music, so you can definitely expect a lot from me. And I'm going to grow, and if we can grow together. So join the journey. And it's going to be so exciting the next few years, and we'll see where the music takes us.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. That was a lovely, who was taking us through her musical journey at a very young age. A young woman who's very knowledgeable about the industry, who taught us that one, you have to have a bit of ego when it comes to your art. Two, you won't get support as immediately as you think you would. It takes time. It took her 3 years. I can only imagine how long it will take you if you're a musician that wants a platform, or an artist rather, in the creative industry. If you want a platform to share your story, your journey, please do choose this one. It's Voices of the Art. Send us an email to studio, studio, at vmradio.co.za. And who knows, we might be talking to you. But for now, here is Lovey with Broke Me.
Summertime, you warm me. Winter comes, you don't call me. All the time, tell you I want more, babe. Lie to me about 100 times. I let it go 1,000 times. Memories I have to push back to life. And I just need to know if you love me at all. If I call 911, would you come running? 'Cause I'm all messed up and you're in Matric. You broke me. Come hold me, sinking slowly. Our love was quicksand. Reach my hand, but you turned your back. You broke me. Come hold me, You don't change, but I have to rearrange my tattoos, cover scars I didn't have before you. if I call now, would you come running? 'Cause I'm all messed up and you're in Matric. You broke me, broke me. Come hold me, hold me.
VM Network, it's your time to tune in. Stories that connect where we all begin. Laughter, lessons, journeys unfold. VM Network, let the stories be told. VM Network, it's your time to tune in. Stories that connect where we all begin. Laughter, lessons, journeys unfold. VM Network.